It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling.
Hello! Today we're doing another episode of Draw Your Journal. This is my prompt journal that I wrote. It's available on Amazon if you'd like to purchase it. I noticed that my cover is getting quite dirty, mostly from colored pencils. And if yours is also getting dirty, I have a solution for you. If you take any kind of all-purpose cleaning product and spray it on the cover of this, it should clean things up really well. The cover has a waxy finish on it, and it's very easy to clean. Mine looks totally brand new after wiping it down. Okay, now that we've cleaned the cover of my Draw Your Journal, it's time to choose a page. I've decided to choose this page at random. I closed my eyes and just flipped to a random page. And the page we landed on is Draw Your Motto. Draw a phrase that describes your beliefs. If you're new here and don't know what Draw Your Journal is, it's a prompt journal that's meant to be a visual diary about your life. So each of the pages are meant to describe you and your life, things you like, things you do, etc. This page is Draw Your Motto. I'm sure there are a lot of ways you could interpret this page. The way that I'm interpreting it is a motto is something that is like a phrase that describes your purpose or your general approach to things. Initially, the first phrase I thought of for this page was make a plan, but be flexible. And when I really started to think about why I wanted to choose that phrase, I came up with a new phrase. But initially I wanted make a plan, but be flexible because in general, my approach to life, my motto is that you should always plan for things and then be flexible if things change. I like to make plans for the future, like big picture plans that are way down the line. I've got like a 3, 5, 10, 15, 20-year plan in my head. But then, on a day-to-day basis, I like to be flexible. And the reason I like to be flexible and go with the flow is because I really want to leave room for God to guide my day-to-day happenings. Often when things pop up and redirect me to do a different activity on a day-to-day basis, I view that as something that God has planned for me to do. That doesn't mean that I won't be working towards my long-term goals, but maybe I'll be doing it in a different way than I would have planned. So that is why I decided to actually change my motto and make it God's plan is better. Because while I have a lot of plans and I love planning, I also really want to be able to be flexible and go with the flow and really take in what God's plans are for my life. And I feel like that is a good explanation of my general mentality on life. And of course, I recognize not everyone's motto is going to be my motto. Your motto might be totally different, or you might have absolutely no idea what your motto is. And if you're having trouble with this page, my suggestion would be to Google mottos. It sounds dumb, but honestly, this is what I did when I was struggling coming up with a motto, because there are so many of them on the internet, and you can just browse through them and find one that you feel like you relate to the most. Or even one that you just find inspirational, even if it's not something you currently do. Just a motto you think you could aspire to, almost like an inspirational quote. After I had finished fixing my letters, I decided to color in the bottom part of the page. Under the rainbow and under the sea, we're coloring like an ocean water scene. Layering colored pencils is literally my least favorite thing in the whole entire world, so we're gonna skip ahead to when it's blended. Ah, there it is. I colored any letters that were touching the water with a light blue color because I wanted them to look like they were under the sea. I also took out my white Posca paint pen and created some bubbles. After I had added all of the bubbles in white, I took out some more Posca paint pens and added little lines to parts of the bubbles. If you use multiple colors on a bubble, it starts to look more like a bubble because bubbles have actually a lot of colors in them. Make sense? The water's not done, but we're gonna move on to the sky, and then we'll come back to the water. I'm adding some clouds. They're very light, and you can't really see them, because I was just planning out where I wanted the clouds to go, and then I started on the yellow sky. Really, I was planning out where I wanted the clouds to go because I wanted to leave some white spaces for the clouds. I used multiple different colors in the sky, like oranges and yellows, so that it looked like it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, the birds are flying around, the sky is filled with promise. Everyone's having a nice time. Back to the water, we're taking a white Posca paint pen and adding little water lines. I always like making water ripples like this. It's just little squiggly lines. To finish up the rainbow, I added some shading to each of the colors. Like under the pink, I put a darker pink, put a darker orange, etc. And now we're ready to take out a non-glossy decoupage. Non-glossy, I mean matte. It's not glossy, so that the pages will not stick together. And here we have the final page for Draw Your Motto. I really like this page, and it's nice for a change. I feel like I'm always very critical of things, and of course, nothing is going to be perfect, but I enjoy this page because I really like how colorful it is. Love the water, love the rainbow and the yellow sky. I feel like the motto really fits me and my personality, so I'm happy with this page, and we're gonna move on to the next page, which is Draw Your Partner in Crime. Draw your friend. Coloring pages. I decided to color this page digitally. I have a pack of 10 coloring pages available on my merch website. If you buy the pack, there's 10 different coloring pages. You can print them out and color them, or you can color them digitally. I have never shown you this page with Marina and Goldie, and I felt like it was the perfect page for drawing your partner in crime. I started off with the watercolor brush, and I wanted to create a background that was very blended looking with blues and greens and a little bit of a periwinkle purple color. After that was done, I moved on to our first fish friend, the octopus. Well, I don't know if octopuses are technically fish. Octopi? I feel like the answer is gonna be no. Our second set of fishy friends are these goldfish, which actually just look like goldfish crackers, but they are not. They're not the food, they're the actual fish. Goldie is part goldfish, part mermaid, so it only makes sense that she would have some goldfish friends. And then we've got this guy who looks like he's just absolutely
losing his mind.
He is obsessed with Goldie. He thinks she's the most beautiful mermaid he has ever seen. This fish is just cute. He's not doing anything wrong. He's just being adorable, being green. Kind of reminds me of Mike Wazowski, actually, now that I'm looking at it again. Over here, I've got a swordfish. I find this one really fun. I don't know why. I guess because he's just different. I guess I just really like his nose. Above that, we've got a fish that seems to be rejoicing. I've painted him red. And my favorite is the blowfish. At first, I painted the blowfish this fuchsia color, then I covered it with a lighter color, and I just love the blowfish. I love its awkward face. I love how stunned it looks. It's just my favorite. Before I go any further explaining my fishy friends, I do have to note the weekly mistake I've made. If you're astute, you'll notice that my night mode is on my iPad. So yes, everything does have a slight yellow tint to it, but I promise you that will change. I do notice, and I will turn it off. Ah, would you look at that? No more yellow. And now for the question we've all been wondering. Who is my partner in crime? Who is my best friend? You would think that I was drawing this page about my husband, but then you would look and you'd say, oh no, these are two girls. These are two mermaid friend girls that are not my husband. And you know what? I could have drawn my husband, but my real best friend is actually my sister, Alina. We go way back. Get away from me! I'm so scared! The two mermaids that I have drawn here always remind me of me and my sister. I think I would be Goldie in this case. Her energy reminds me of myself. She's a goldfish, so she's always like forgetting things and moving on to the next thing. And that's not to say that I forget things, because I don't really forget things, but temperamentally, I'm pretty sanguine in nature. I'm pretty expressive emotionally, and I kind of flick between one thing and another pretty quickly. Don't really hold things for too long, and I think that Goldie is kind of similar to that. Whereas Marina, I think, reminds me of Alina. And it could just be because their names rhyme. No, it's not just because their names rhyme. I feel like Marina looks like Alina's vibe. Alina has a drama to her, and she is kind of sanguine, like she'll flip between things temperamentally, but also she has a very deep thoughtfulness to her. She's very scientific, and she really thinks about things. And I feel like Marina, when you look at her, she's got like heavy eyelids, and she's really deep in thought. I think temperamentally that's considered melancholic. Anyway, I printed out the page and put it into the book. So here we have the final partner in crime page. I am obsessed with the way this came out. I love all the fish in the background. I've been dying to show you these. I find all of their little expressions hilarious. If you want to see more Draw Your Journal episodes, I have the playlist linked in one of these two boxes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye!